Welcome to Between the Uprights with Nick and Anna. As you could tell, I'm Nick.
And I'm Anna. It's been a great 3 weeks of college football so far, so let's talk about which teams we think are going to end up at the top of the rankings this season.
And let's get right into it. I have the Clemson Tigers at my #1 spot. And when you look at it, it's them and Alabama, 1-2. And they have questions at the quarterback positions, both teams, and we'll see how they figure that all out by January. Coach Dabo Swinney's got 15 returning starters. Tigers look good this year.
I don't think Alabama has any questions at quarterback, and that's why they edge out Clemson for me and are my favorites to win the college football and national championships this year. They're in great hands with Tagovailoa. With his insane comeback against Georgia last year in the national championships, I don't think any team can stop him. And you know I love Nick Saban. Best coach, college football, hands down.
So let me get this straight. You think a freshman QB could go in and beat the pesky Tigers, who Dabo Swinney, great recruiter, every year is in the Final Four every year, and I think they're going to dominate this year. Alabama, tough schedule. I see them getting 2 losses.
Well, let's move on to number 3. We both agree Georgia's at 3rd, but it's pick number 4 where we completely disagree.
Yeah, at 4 I have the LSU Tigers, who are going to head straight to Santa Clara, California, and compete with Alabama in the Final Four. I booked 2 plane tickets. We're both going to witness history, and it should be incredible. They have looked amazing this year.
Well, my pick to round out the top 4 is The Ohio State University. Stacked roster, future NFL draft picks galore. Their offense is great, but it's their defense that were the stars of their last game against TCU, scoring 2 defensive touchdowns against a ranked team. Shows that they have a lot of depth in every position.
You know, you want to talk about defenses, look no further than the LSU Tigers, who have one of the best defenses in the nation, led by Devin White, who many scouts are saying is a generational linebacker who should go top 5 this year. Greedy Williams, another potential first-round pick. They are stacked on that side of the ball, and I think they're going to go far. That defense is going to take them real far.
But the real star in college football is Ohio State's offense, led by Dwayne Haskins, who threw 9 passing touchdowns in just his first 2 games of the season. The first-year quarterback is already receiving Heisman consideration and looks to have a promising season ahead of him. He performed well in his first 3 matchups this year, good passing stats so far, and all of this without Coach Urban Meyer on the sidelines.
Well, let's look at LSU's quarterback, the junior Joe Burrow, who committed to Ohio State, then decommitted and transferred to LSU because he didn't want to play for a liar and manipulator that is Urban Meyer. And it turned out great. I mean, he had more than 140-plus passing yards the first 3 weeks and has looked real nice.
Well, Haskins had more than 200 passing yards in the first 3 weeks, and maybe Burrow didn't go to Ohio State because he didn't think he could crack the roster. Anyways, we'll talk about Urban Meyer later, but LSU at 4, that's pretty bold. We'll see how you feel after LSU plays against Georgia and Bama.
Well, let's go straight to Columbus, Ohio with college football insider Thomas McCabe. Tom?
Thanks, guys. Ohio State head football coach Urban Meyer is set to return to the field after serving his 3-game suspension. Now, this is over the handling of domestic abuse allegations against his former assistant coach, Zach Smith. The Buckeyes were able to go 3-0 in the first 3 games of the year in the absence of head coach Urban Meyer, although it seems like this saga is far from over. Nick?
Thanks a lot, Tom. And when you look at it, college campuses are all about see something, say something. Except if you're the head football coach, you get a pass. And when you look at what Urban Meyer said at Big Ten Media Day, he lied to me. He said this was all a nothing burger, tried to sweep it all under the rug, and it's just a consistent message of lying that Urban Meyer portrays.
Well, Urban Meyer didn't actually cover anything up. At least that's what the official report by Ohio State said about his actions.
Deleted text.
Okay, well, now I agree under Title IX that maybe he should have said something to the university if he had any concerns. However, you have to acknowledge that Zach Smith had no arrest or charges that were ever filed by his wife. And as soon as she filed a protective order, he did the right thing and fired him.
All right, well, let's look at it from a legal perspective then, because Yahoo Sports is reporting that Urban Meyer had a clause in his contract where he had to declare any type of situation to the university, and the fact of the matter is he didn't.
But background checks by the university during the hiring of Zach Smith came out clean. And now I've got to ask you, Nick, is it the head football coach's job to look into the background of his hires, or is that another department like HR's job?
Well, yeah, it is his job because he's in charge of the players and he's the head of the football program. And when you look at other coaches' precedents here, Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, got a 1-year suspension for telling players to hit the injured.
Okay, comparing Sean Payton to Urban Meyer is absolutely ridiculous, but we're not going to agree on this anytime soon, so we'll get more on Meyer after this.